So we already talked about fragrances that are overhyped and fragrances that I think deserve more hype than they get. And today we're going to look at fragrances from my collection that deserve all the hype that they get. So if you're interested to see what fragrances I've chosen, then keep on watching. Hi, welcome back to my channel. Thank you for watching this video and for subscribing. And if you haven't subscribed yet, definitely hit that red button. So I've chosen 10 fragrances from my collection that I think deserve all the hype. And some of these actually will be individual fragrances and some of these will be fragrance houses. So without further ado, let's get started. These are in no particular order and I have selections from both designer and niche. So the first one on my list is from the house of Tom Ford, and this is definitely my favorite offering from this house, and I think it's the best in my opinion. And this is Eau de Soleil Blanc. So this is the EDT version. They also have the Eau de Parfum Soleil Blanc, but I think both of them are quite similar. There are a lot of notes in this fragrance. I'm not going to go into all of them, but basically this is coconut with a little bit of floral notes, a little bit of vanilla, a little bit of citrus notes, but overall vibe that I get from this is kind of suntan lotion vibe, coconut with suntan lotion. I love this kind of fragrance in the summer and I really enjoy wearing it. It doesn't have the best longevity, but I kind of don't mind because I really like the scent. But overall, I think this is very deserving of all the hype that it gets. Number 2, and I had to include this fragrance. This is the fragrance that's been talked about the most in the last couple of months. And as I mentioned in one of my last hauls, I am now a fan of it as well. And I understand why so many people love it and so many people talk about it. Of course, it's La Belle from Jean Paul Gaultier. This is a simple fragrance in the edit, yet it is absolutely stunning. All it has is pear, vanilla, and vetiver. And so it's a beautiful, juicy, ripe, sweet pear with a touch of freshness. It has some kind of addictive quality to it. That's what I find. I have to stop myself from grabbing it every single day. I mean, I have so many fragrances. I want to give them all a chance, but I really want to keep using this one over and over again. So I do understand why all the hype is about this fragrance. It is stunning and definitely deserves all the hype that it gets. And the beautiful bottle is of course a nice little bonus as well. Okay, next one on my list is from the house of Xerjoff. And again, if you watched any of my videos, you probably can guess which one I'm gonna choose here. This is of course Lyra. I think this is one of the most beautiful and sophisticated gourmands that I've ever tried. It has of course blood orange, it has lavender, it has licorice, it has vanilla, caramel, and when I was thinking about purchasing it, there were 2 notes that really concerned me. It was the lavender and the licorice. I'm not a fan of either one of these 2 notes, but I don't really smell them here. To me, this is some kind of lemony dessert, lemony bakery good. Even though it has blood orange, but to me it leans more lemony than orangey. And it is just so beautiful and so delicious and definitely deserves all the hype that it gets. Next one is a full fragrance house that I want to mention, and it's the house that I just reviewed on my channel, and I know some of you were not happy with me about my opinion about a particular fragrance, but I think we all have different tastes in fragrance. That's what makes it interesting, and there are so many beautiful fragrances out there that there is something for everyone. And irregardless of whether I like some scents from house or I don't, I think this is an outstanding house with very high quality fragrances. And of course I'm talking about Maison Francis Kurkdjian. And as you know, my favorite is Amoureuse Femme, but there are so many more stunning fragrances. This is very creative house. They produce incredibly high quality fragrances in their longevity, in their creativity, in the way they blend the notes together. So definitely this house deserves all the hype that it gets. Next one is a fragrance from the house of Mugler, and it's a fragrance that started my love affair with this house, and I think it is, in my opinion, still the most beautiful fragrance from this house. I'm talking about Angel Muse, of course. This is a very sweet, delicious Nutella type of scent with a blast of patchouli, but even though there is patchouli in here, it's not as strong or as in your face as in other Angel fragrances. I think this is the most wearable type of patchouli, the most mass appealing patchouli. And I mean, the sweetness is just so delicious and so beautiful. And again, the performance of this fragrance is outstanding. So definitely worth talking about it. Definitely deserves the hype that it gets. Okay, next I'm gonna mention another fragrance house, and I'm talking about Lancome. And although I think Lancome as a house is outstanding, but more specifically, I'm talking about Maison Lancome line. This is one of the lines that I'm currently very obsessed about, and I'm kind of trying to control myself, but I really want to collect as many of the fragrances from this collection as I can. I think there are such interesting fragrances, especially because many of them I find don't have a ton of notes, and yet the fragrance is amazing, so beautiful, and smells much more complex than what you think it should be based on the notes. The performance again is outstanding for all of these fragrances, and the bottles are stunning as well. And I'm gonna share with you one, although I could have shared any one from my collection, and this is one of the newer ones that really surprised me. This is Oud Ambrosi. Of course, it has oud in it, but to me, oud definitely takes the back seat. It's not a strong type of oud. This is really about honey, kind of aged, deep, dark kind of honey. Very sweet, very delicious, and again, very beautiful. But overall, Maison Lancome line, I think, deserves all the hype that it gets. Okay, next we have a fragrance from Paco Rabanne, and no surprise, this is Olympia. This fragrance is about salty vanilla, and to me, I find this fragrance kind of unique. I haven't seen a lot of sort of salty, sweet type of fragrances before, and I'm really trying to find more that have the prominent note of salt, but somehow everything that I'm running across is more of a not sweet type of salt. Like many of them for some reason to me smell like pickles, and you know, obviously that's not what I want to smell like, but I haven't come across many that have this sort of sweet, salty note. So for that reason, I think this is a unique fragrance, and it is absolutely beautiful and definitely should be talked about, and it is talked about. Next one is another fragrance that I think is unique in a way, and that's from the house of Versace. This is Crystal Noir. This is my favorite fragrance from this house, and I think this is the most creative and the most unique one from this house as well. This one has salt in it as well, but this is a different kind of salt. This is salty coconut. And again, I think when coconut is included in fragrances, typically it is sweet type of coconut, but this one is very different. This is salty, seductive kind of coconut, and that's what makes this fragrance unique in my opinion. And that's why I think it deserves all the hype that it gets. And again, as a bonus, it has very good performance. So Crystal Noir from Versace. I think we're left with two more. And the next one I have is from kind of one of the, I think, OG niche houses that is really creative and really interesting. But I want to highlight this particular fragrance because I think it's the best offering from this house. I'm talking about Serge Lutens, and this is Un Bois Vanille. This is Vanilla Forest, or I think it translates as something like that. This is, of course, about vanilla. It is sweet vanilla, but it is very woody, smoky type of vanilla. I mean, the name says it all. It's a vanilla forest. It is so, so beautiful. Probably many people would consider this more of a cold weather fragrance. I can wear it anytime. I love vanilla and definitely can wear it anytime, but it is a beautiful, beautiful vanilla and definitely deserves all the hype that it gets. So Un Bois Vanille from Serge Lutens. And the last one is a fragrance in the house that I really didn't know anything about until a couple of months ago. But I heard quite a few people on YouTube talk about this fragrance, and it really got me interested, and I decided, okay, I have to try it. And once I tried it, I really understand why so many people talk about it and why so many people love it. So I'm talking about Zadig & Voltaire. This is her. This is again one of those really interesting, really unique type of fragrances. It is sweet, but I wouldn't call it a gourmand. This is smooth, milky, creamy kind of sweet. It has the note of whipped cream, which, yeah, I can smell something like that in it. It also has chestnut, so it has a little bit of nuttiness. Definitely sandalwood, vanilla. So it just creates a very interesting blend that is sweet, but not gourmand type of sweet. And it is very unique and very interesting. And for that reason, I think definitely it deserves all the hype that it gets. So these are the 10 fragrances that I've chosen for my collection that I think are worth all the hype that they get. Although, again, I could have chosen many more, but trying to limit my list. So please let me know, what would you consider the fragrance that's most worth the hype from your collection? I would love to know. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, remember to give a thumbs up and to subscribe, and I will see you soon in my next video. Bye!